Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming out tonight to our annual spring concert. My name is Nick Stanley. I'm the director of bands here at Pasquotank County High School, and that first selection was Allied Honor by Carl King, arranged by James Swearingen. Want to thank a few people before we get started. COA for being an outstanding host, Mariah Shearer and Elizabeth Jarvis and their staff for being very accommodating to us. They are fantastic. Any request we have, they're able to accommodate. So let's give COA and the performing arts staff a round of applause. Thank you guys. There's a couple of other people that I'd like to thank tonight. If there are any administrators from Pasquotank County High School or teachers from Pasquotank County High School, if you can raise your hand to be recognized tonight. I see a couple. Thank you guys so much for being out here tonight. And last but not least, I know there was a Board of Education meeting tonight, but are any board members or central office staff here tonight? No, maybe not. Oh, I see somebody in the back. I see a couple people in the back. Thank you guys for being here tonight. So this next selection, actually before I get to that, I want to brag on these kids for a minute. For those of you that don't have a student in the band or don't have anybody in the band that's related to you, or you don't follow us on social media, this year, especially this spring, has been phenomenal for our students. North Carolina has this thing called state assessment for to keep everything kind of short. And the state assessment rated 1 to 5, 1 being superior, 5 being poor. I'm proud to announce that for the second time in school history, these guys earned a superior, and this is the first since spring of 2014. So let's give these guys a round of applause for their hard work. They just don't hand out those awards. It's 3 prepared pieces to a panel of 3 judges, and then they go to a room and they sight read, which is basically they go look at a piece of music for the first time in their life, myself included, and you have 5 minutes to prepare it, and then you got to go. And they did a phenomenal job. So students, once again, congratulations on that superior. Not many bands in the state get a superior, but you guys pulled it off. So another round of applause for the students. So the next piece we're going to play is called Each Time You Tell Their Story by Samuel Hazo. And this piece is very sentimental to me coming from a military family. And I'm going to let Maddie Petro introduce this next piece and our guest narrator.
Each Time They Tell Their Story was commissioned by the New Mexico Military Institute Regimental Band in Roswell, New Mexico. In 2003, Samuel Hazo composed the selection to go with a poem written by his father, Dr. Samuel Hazo, in 1996. Dr. Hazo was a United States Marine captain who served in the Korean War. The poem is a reminder that our men and women in uniform serve a purpose that is far greater than themselves, and that we should remember their sacrifice. Tonight, I would like to welcome my mom, a veteran of the United States Navy, Fire Controlman, 2nd Class, Crystal Detro, to read Dr. Hazo's poem. No soldiers choose to die. It's what they risk by being, who and where they are. It's what they dare while saving someone else whose life means suddenly as much to them as theirs, or more. To honor them, why speak of duty or the will of governments? Think first of love each time you tell their story. It gives their sacrifice a name and takes from war its glory.
So the next piece, Made of This by Herbert Clark, arranged by David Malott. A little bit about the piece itself. Clark was a composer, he was a cornetist, he was a bandmaster, he was a musician. And if you're a trumpet player or a brass player, the name Clark is very significant to you. He wrote a number of etudes, a number of compositions. He wrote a number of technique books and method books, still used to this very day. But Clark wrote this piece, and it's played a number of ways. It's played for solo trumpet and piano, solo trumpet and band. Pretty much any way you can probably think of it, it's there. This selection was actually written, that we're going to play tonight, was originally written for solo trumpet and band, but we're going to change it up a little bit for tonight. Tonight it will feature two musicians. I'm excited to introduce to the stage Mr. Daniel Simmons, Director of Bands at Elizabeth City Middle School. He and I will share the roles tonight of conducting and soloing. It's really an honor to have him up here. Not only was he the majority of these students' middle school band director at one point in time, he was also my middle school band director. So would you please welcome to the stage Mr. Daniel Simmons. It's hot here. Is it hot up here, guys? Yeah? Who says it's not hot up here? Man, I think it's hot. Alright. Audience. Count to 7 with me. Ready? Go. 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Great. Now count to 7 like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, that's fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Let me get this right. Good grief. Well, thank you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Ready, go. Ooh, yeah. It's a lot harder than what you think to count to 7. And that's what these guys are going to have to do in just a minute. The next piece we're going to play, Star Dance, has, if you know anything about music, there's a time signature. And then in this case, the time signature for the most part is 7/8. And it's irregular because it's not divisible by like 2, 3, 4, it's 7. You can't divide 7 in any way. Well, maybe you can. I'm not a math person. Nonetheless, they're going to have to do that. So think about going outside in about an hour, and the stars are starting to come out, and it's not cloudy. You can see the different constellations and stars come out at night, and then it gets dark, and then you might see a shooting star or something like that. That's what this piece by Michael Sweeney entitled Star Dance is supposed to depict. The opening piece is going to mimic that same thing. They're going to be playing a bunch of random things that are actually cued in their music, and imagine those stars coming out. This is Michael Sweeney's Star Dance. So if you thought counting to 7 was hard, let me tell you something else that's hard. So you might have caught it, you might have not, but towards the end, the wind section, so the brass and the woodwinds, they had these long sustained notes going on. And if you notice, my hands were not going in time with the percussion section. The percussion section was actually keeping that 7/8 feel like the whole time. So we had 2 different time signatures, 2 different tempos, one at one time. It's one of the hardest things that high school musicians can do. It is very hard. We spent a lot of time working on it. Percussion section, you did a pretty good job at it. So good job, percussion section. So the last selection on the first half of the program, no, I promise you this will not be a 4-hour concert, but the last selection on the first half of tonight's program is Carl King's Big 4 March. The march ends with a very beautiful trio in which the woodwinds are featured in a very lyrical way. Just as they finish their line, the brass is going to interject in what's known as the break strain or the dog fight. You'll know what this is in just a few minutes. This separates the trio that features the woodwinds from the final selection of music, which is known as the coda. The coda basically means the end. We hope you enjoyed the first half of our concert, and after this selection, we'll pause for just a few minutes as we set up for the jazz band that'll play. So thank you guys so much for being here tonight, and this is Carl King's Big 4 March. Thank you guys. Give us about 5 or so minutes and we'll be ready for the second half of the program. So the first piece on the jazz portion of tonight is Vehicle by James, well I hope I don't butcher this name, but I probably will, Petrie. The song rose to #2 on the Billboard Top 100, just behind a song by the Guess Who. So this classic rock hit is going to feature Miss Layla Bazemore, our trombone player, drum major. Did you have a lead in the musical this year? Lead the musical this year. Sings in the choir. What else did you do? Trombone player, we said that. She's here, great. So this will feature Layla Basil on the trombone. You might not recognize the name James Petrick on the thing, but you might recognize a piece that his second group wrote, and actually the second group was Survivor. So this is Vehicle. Go, 1, 2, and 1, 2, and ready, go, and. So one of the things that I'm excited to announce that the Panther Jazz Collective will be doing again this year, they will be performing this Friday night at 5:45, I believe. I think the program's at 6, but I just looked earlier and it's 5:45. Friday night, Mariners Wharf, I believe, is the location this year again for the Potato Festival. I believe we're the first band to play at the Potato Festival this year. So please, 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 if you are going to be in downtown Elizabeth City on this Friday, come check out the Panther Jazz Collective at the Potato Festival. The next piece we're going to play is called Buffalo Wings, and it's based on 2 chords. The 1 chord and the 4 chord. If you don't know what that means, it's 2 really, really pretty chords that are going to be played, and they just go back and forth between each other. And if you're still lost, just listen to the music and enjoy it. And if all the musical jargon is just way over your head, don't worry about it. It's a piece, it's kind of a funk piece, it's going to sound really good, and it is called Buffalo Wings, and it features John Emanuel on trumpet and Emily Stokely on tenor saxophone.
And then also featured for a little bit our drummer, Noah Lowry. Good job, Noah. Good job, soloists. Noah Lowry.
So this next chart is a staple in the Panther Jazz Collective songbook. If you've heard the song Brown Eyed Girl, no, this is not Brown Eyed Girl. You have heard of Van Morrison. Moondance is not only Van Morrison's favorite chart, but it's also one of the favorites of the students. So let's make sure I didn't lie in front of a bunch of people and on camera for ever and ever, amen. How many of you, this is your favorite song? Y'all making me look bad. Somebody needs to raise their hand.
It's up there.
It's up there.
What is the favorite?
Thanks, y'all. Y'all supposed to bail me out. Your grade just went to a B minus. Here we go. So, Moondance opens with the melody on the tenor saxophone. Okay. Who says this is not their favorite chart. And then it goes also with the trumpet, and then it goes into the middle, and then the band all gets the melody at one time, and then it goes on, and then it ends with with the tenor saxophone again. So I hope you enjoy the Panther Jazz Collective's second most favorite chart, Van Morrison's Moondance. All right, so once again, as we get ready to play our last selection for tonight, thank you to COA and the Performing Arts Center, to the PCHS admin, ECPPS, a couple of our sponsors, Big Buick GMC, Karen Ventura, to the band parents, thank you for bringing your child or children to every single band rehearsal, every single band concert, band competition. Whenever I say we have an event, even on short notice, I don't thank you guys enough, but really from the bottom of my heart, if it wasn't for you guys and the students, tonight wouldn't be possible, because not all of them drive, not all of them have instruments, not all of them had wonderful clothes to wear. Don't these guys look good? Didn't the first group look really good? So to the parents, thank you. It is a lot, I know sometimes, but when you have nights like these, it's worth it. I hope it is, and I think it is. To the PCHS Color Guard, aka the Blue Diamonds, thank you, ladies, and your coach Sam Griffin for being in the front this evening, handing out programs and greeting you as you came in. Thank you guys so much. To the band students. You guys have, the ones that are up here now and the ones that are out there, you guys are sounding phenomenal tonight. Tonight has been fun. I hate that this is the last concert the last concert in this building for some of you, but we'll save all the boo-hooing for graduation and the band banquet later on. And to, last but not least, to Mr. Dan Simmons for being our guest conductor and soloist on the Mist. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause for everybody who's been involved tonight. So one little bit of housekeeping before we play our last chart. All the students, they know they are to come back on stage and play one more chart that I did not tell you about. All right, no, I'm just kidding. We got to load everything back up and get it back to the high school. So parents, I'm asking one more big favor for you to help us get these students back to the high school so we can unload everything, because we have to rehearse for senior awards. That's on Wednesday, tomorrow. So please help. We can make this thing really, really quick if we have everybody's help. The students all know where everything goes because they loaded it this morning and unloaded it when we got here. So the last selection is probably one of the most recognizable jazz charts of all time. It's a standard in the jazz world. Sing, Sing, Sing requires a little bit of audience participation. Just remember, don't clap on 1 and 3. Please do not clap on 1 and 3. All right. So it's just wrong if you clap on 1 and 3. So let me help you guys out. No, go ahead. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you at the Potato Festival on Friday. Have a great evening.